attention, Mr. Wilson goes over these.
Okay, so
You didn't give you the answer.
it seems like most of us have been able to finish this problem, which is good. So we got this system. 8x plus 12y equals 1400 and x plus y equals 150. So someone explain to me why we had, what constraint was this 8x plus 12y equals 1400? What does that represent? Total cost, right? So why was that, why did we do 8x plus 12y? I think you already started talking about this earlier.
Advance and it's going to be like the multiply. Every many times, and how many times got multiplied to equal 1,400.
Exactly, so we know that $8 for each ticket in advance, which we said was X, and then $12 for each ticket in at the expo, which was Y. So we knew those together were 1,400. But why was this X plus Y equals 150 and not 8X plus 12Y equals 150? So I did see a lot of this. Why is that not right? And
Well,
X plus Y equals 150?
It doesn't equal 150. I mean, you've sold 150 tickets, yeah, but that's not, we're dealing with money after that. You don't deal with the number of tickets sold.
Yeah, so when we have this 8X plus 12Y, that's dealing with the money, right?
It's asking for a situation, or it's asking for an equation to represent the situation. You're not going to say 8x plus 12y equals 150. That doesn't make sense. Money plus money equals tickets.
Exactly, yeah, so when we're talking about
Money
8X
plus
plus
money
12Y, we're
equals
talking
money.
about money. So we say X plus Y, we're just talking about our tickets sold in advance and our tickets sold at the expo.
If you're going to do money, you could do 150 is equal to 8x plus 12y equals, or no, 150 is equal to 8x plus 12y.
We just said I couldn't do that.
You said that you couldn't do 8x plus 12y is equal to 150. But if you were doing money, couldn't you do it the other way?
So is
Or
there
if you're doing tickets?
is there a difference between,
No, never mind. I was thinking wrong.
so when we're looking at tickets, we're just looking at our X and our Y, right? So we know that our tickets sold in advance plus our tickets sold at the expo is equal to our total of 150. So one thing that's important is at this point, can we use substitution? Like right now, with what we have, can we use substitution? Shelby, you're shaking your head no. Why not?
There's nothing to substitute.
There's nothing to substitute, so how can we find something to substitute?
Solve
Solve what?
the equation.
Solve the equation for what?
8x plus 12y is equal to 1,400.
So that equation, what would I solve for?
You'd solve for the x.
You want to solve for the x? So we can do that. Now, do you think that that's the easiest equation to solve for x in?
No,
No, why not? Which one do you think the second one will be easier?
it's used.
Why do you think that?
Because you have 8x and 12x, but you easily just have variables with one number. Or like, I can't explain it, but I just know what it is. So.
Yeah, because what is the number in front of those variables called? Do you remember? Coefficients, right? So when we have these coefficients, it's going to end up being more difficult because we have to divide those coefficients out. So you said you want to solve for x in this x plus y equals 150. Now, does it matter if we're solving for x or solving for y? What, in the end, will it matter which one we solve for first to substitute?
No.
No? So, did most of us solve for x or most of us solve for y? Start with x, okay, so how would we solve for x here?
AX.
You start out with 8x plus 12, and then negative x plus 150 is equal to 1,400.
So where did you get the negative x plus 150?
Negative. It's the form.
So what I'm asking is from this equation, do we want to solve for x or solve for y? From this equation.
Oh, wow.
Y, right? So once we solve for y, then then we substituted and solved for x. So that's where Peyton got that negative x plus 150. So why did we need to get this into y equals? It is slope intercept. Why did we need that to be able to use substitution? And how do we say plug in? Substitute, there we go. So we need to make sure, we have to have what y equals or what x equals to be able to use substitution in this situation. So once we know that y equals negative x plus 150, I heard Peyton said 8x, so we substituted in to this other equation. So 8x plus 12 times negative x plus 150 equals 1400. Is that what we had? You look like you got tell me what's wrong. What's wrong with it? Parentheses, good. So we have to group that together to make sure, because if I just read it without parentheses, it would be incorrect. We have to group that whole y together. So then from there, then we're solving for x. So we distribute this 12, which gives you 8 minus 12x plus 1800 equals 1400. And then we can combine like terms. So we get negative 4x plus 1800 equals 1400, and then continue to solve. And this was something I saw, pretty much everyone was able to do this successfully. So then divide by negative 4. So then what does that make x equal to? 100. So what does this x equals 100 mean in our problem? 100 tickets were sold in advance. So how many tickets were sold at the expo then? 50? How'd you get 50?
I plugged 100 in for X and then solved for Y.
So what did you do with the 50? Or the 100, sorry?
I plugged it in, or substituted it.
There we go. Substituted in the 100 in for which variable? X?
Yes.
So we have this x plus y equals 150, so that gets you 100 plus y equals 150, which then would get you y is equal to 50. So now, what is this? So now we found the point 150. What have we found for this system? The solution, right? Because it's the point that makes all the equations true. So I'll give you all a minute to write this down, but I want you to make sure you note that really the whole point of this is we need to make sure we recognize when can we use substitution. We have to, when we're looking at a system, we have to ask, can we use substitution? We need to make sure we have a variable of either y equals or x equals so that we can then substitute that back into an equation to be able to solve. Are there any questions on how we did that? I'll give you all a second to write that down if needed.